Welcome to Eastern Wisdom. Have you ever wondered why some people live gentle, harmless lives yet endure many trials and sufferings? Some families, kind and charitable, still find misfortune circling them, leaving them bewildered and sighing. Is this fate? In Buddhism, this is not blind destiny, but karma, imprints of past actions, words and thoughts sown long ago, now bearing fruit. But karma is not a permanent sentence, nor a shackle that binds us forever. Karma exists so we can recognize it, awaken to it, and transform it. The ancients used to say, good begets reward, evil begets retribution. If neither good nor evil is repaid in this life, the gods will intervene later. Karma shows no favoritism. It quietly operates under the law of cause and effect. A lie uttered, a moment of greed, a thought of anger, all sow seeds in the mind. When those seeds sprout, we call it karma. But likewise, a single act of compassion, a kind deed, a forgiving heart can transform into merit, alleviating the burdens we have sown. Like a river, muddy water can clear if patiently allowed to settle. A mind heavy with karma can become pure if daily cultivated. In Buddhism, the Buddha once advised, if you wish to know past karma, look at your present condition. If you wish to know future result, watch your present actions. This reminds us that our present life is the result of the past, and our future is germinating from each thought and deed we carry today. Therefore, resolving karma is not something distant, but begins in this moment, from the way we view others, from the words we utter, from the small but wholesome actions in everyday life. A Zen story tells of a poor woman who each day at market was oppressed and despised by others. Rather than harboring resentment, she quietly maintained a gentle heart. Every day she collected broken shards of glass by the roadside so no one would step on them. At first, no one noticed. Gradually, her neighbors came to respect her. When she fell sick, hundreds pitched in to help her. Her painful karma did not vanish at once, but through accumulating goodness, merit gradually transformed her plight. This is proof that resolving karma is not about begging or fleeing, but about changing the heart, altering behavior, and persistently planting virtue. Thus, today's video dives into a profound question. How do we resolve karma? So we understand that karma is not a terrifying burden, but an opportunity for awakening, cultivation, and building a life of peace and happiness. In Buddhism, karma is understood as the result of three doors of action: body, speech, and mind. What we do with the body, what we say, and what we think, all plant seeds. Those seeds, when conditions arise, sprout and bear fruit, sometimes in this life, sometime in future lives. Thus, karma is not a punishment from a supernatural force, but the natural reflection of cause and effect. As the ancients also said, one sows one's own seed, I sow my own seed, others sow theirs, we sow ours, and each harvests the fruits of what one has sown. What is remarkable is that karma never stays fixed. If we unwittingly sowed a bad seed, but then cultivate a kind mind and compensate through positive deeds, the field of the soul can still yield wholesome fruit. Like arid land that, when nurtured, fertilized, and reseeded, can become fertile again. Therefore, Buddhism never teaches pessimism or accepting fate, but always reminds, if the mind changes, karma changes. If the mind finds peace, life finds peace. For example, someone with a habit of anger causes conflict, hurting others by harsh words. They are planting karmic seeds of speech and mind. If they do not change, relationships break, friends drift away, even health declines because of inner unrest. But if one recognizes their mistake, reforms by patience, speaking kindly, opening forgiveness, the old karma gradually dissolves, making way for new merit to arise. The so-called resolving karma truly begins through observation and transformation of our thoughts and the smallest actions. In the scriptures, the Buddha once likened karma to shadow and form. Wherever the form goes, the shadow follows. Only when we alter our steps can the shadow change. If we wish to resolve karma, there is no other path than turning inward, reflecting on unwholesome habits and unskillful thoughts, and gradually transforming them. This is fundamental, the root of resolving karma, rather than seeking to escape or pleading for relief. So, to resolve karma, first we must correctly understand it. Karma is not an immutable fate, but a fair operating law. And resolving karma is not distant. It begins when we awaken, deciding to sow a wholesome seed today. One of the most important methods for resolving karma is cultivating virtue and doing good deeds. Because karma is like a borrowed debt, debt cannot be denied. It must be repaid or offset. The ancients taught, respond to harm with virtue and hatred dissolves. Repay hatred with hatred and hate will never end. Thus, to resolve karma, the best correct path is to sow merit, letting the light of goodness dim the darkness of karmic obstruction. In Buddhism, merit is not limited to money or material possessions, but all the goodness we offer to life. When we help someone in need, console someone suffering, shield a vulnerable being, or simply offer a compassionate smile, all form merit. That merit is like cool water. When abundant, it naturally washes away the soil in the heart, causing evil karma gradually to resolve. That is why the Buddha taught giving and offering, not for display or external accumulation, but so we learn to open the heart, break selfishness, and share goodness. Look around life and see this clearly. Some people once committed many wrongs and heavy karma, but after awakening, dedicated the remainder of their lives to good works, supporting the needy, building bridges, giving opportunity. As a result, not only did they find peace, but their family and descendants also benefited. People call this repaying karma, but in truth, it is transforming karmic power through creating good conditions. In scriptural teachings, the Buddha used the analogy, a pinch of salt in a small cup of water makes it undrinkable. The same salt in a large lake causes no harm. Evil karma is like that pinch of salt. Merit is the great lake. When merit becomes sufficiently abundant, karmic burdens no longer dominate, and our life lightens and calms. Importantly, doing good is not waiting for wealth or abundance to begin. Merit can be generated even from the smallest acts, sharing a meal, supporting someone who fell, forgiving instead of retaliating, or simply maintaining a kind intention in thought. Each seed of goodness sown today becomes a tree of merit in the future, both resolving old karma and constructing the future. Thus, resolving karma cannot be separated from doing good. The more seeds of virtue we sow, the brighter our heart, the greater our merit, and the lighter our karmic burdens. This is the path of self-liberation and sowing peace for others, the only way out of the vicious cycle of negative cause and effect into the stream of peace and happiness. Another path to resolving karma emphasized by the Buddha is repentance and inner reform. If cultivating merit is sowing wholesome seeds to compensate for bad karma, repentance is the direct method of cleansing impurities within, facing mistakes bravely and resolving not to repeat them. The old said, acknowledging faults and correcting them, no greater virtue exists. Because the root of karma lies within the mind. When the mind changes, karma changes too. In Buddhism, repentance is not only ritual prostration, but deep introspection into body, speech, and mind. Have the body harmed anyone? Has speech wounded someone's heart? How many thoughts of greed, anger, ignorance have arisen? Only when we dare to look squarely at that truth can we truly begin the journey of resolving karma. If we avoid it, mistakes smolder like an ember, one day erupting to scorch body and mind. But if we confront and humbly admit them, that flame becomes light guiding us forward. A canonical story tells that King Ajatasattu, in pursuit of power, killed his father and created extremely heavy karma. When he met the Buddha, he deeply repented. Though unable to erase the karma he committed, through sincere remorse and guidance, he was taught the path of cultivation and eventually sowed new wholesome causes for his future. This story shows that repentance does not erase all wrongdoing instantly, but breaks the continuing flow of evil karma and opens space for transformation. In daily life, we see many similar examples. Someone once addicted, hurting their family, after awakening resolutely repented before parents and loved ones. That sincerity allowed them to regain trust, be embraced by society, and gradually resolve accumulated suffering karma. That shows true repentance is the key unlocking the door to liberation. Practicing repentance need not be complicated. You may chant sutras, perform ceremonial bowing, recite repentance vows, write out your mistakes, reflect, and vow to avoid repeating them. Or simply each night sit in silence. Ask yourself what you did wrong today and how to improve tomorrow. What matters is not the form, but sincerity. When the heart is truly contrite, karmic waves gradually settle, yielding to the flow of purity. Therefore, resolving karma is not just external action, but internal purification. Repentance is a miraculous practice helping us transform the past, nourish the present, and open the future. A heartfelt apology and a vow to live better are already the beginning of the path out of karmic darkness toward the light of peace. A deeper path to resolving karma is transforming consciousness through meditation and wisdom. If repentance allows us to realize mistakes, meditation helps us see the roots of all deeds and intentions, where karma forms. The Buddha taught, the mind leads all phenomena. Mind is the master, the creator. If speech or actions stems from a tainted mind, suffering follows as shadows on the footprints of a cow. If from a pure mind, peace follows like a shadow never leaves form. This means every suffering or happiness we endure arises from our own mental flow. If we fail to transform the mind, karma will repeat like an endless cycle. But through training in meditation, we gradually separate ourselves from domination by greed, anger, and ignorance, the three root defilements generating karma. When the mind is calm, wisdom arises. When wisdom shines, karma gradually resolves. In Buddhism, there are many forms of meditation: mindfulness of breathing, loving kindness meditation, insight into impermanence, and more. Each method helps us nourish wholesome seeds in the mind. For example, in loving kindness meditation, we radiate goodness toward ourselves and all beings. Then resentment gradually dissolves. Compassion grows. Evil karma melts, like ice under the sun. The ancients also often mentioned stilling the mind as medicine to resolve karma. In Confucianism, Confucius said, "A noble person quietly reflects, sees faults, and corrects them. This is great self-cultivation." Here, stillness is not mere rest, but self-reflection, so as not to continue sowing wrong causes. Many real-life stories illustrate the power of meditation. One person, once quick-tempered and angry, through practice became calmer, no longer sparking conflict and disharmony as before. As a result, they improved relationships and resolved the karmic consequences their past impulsiveness created. Transforming mind, they also transformed life. Karma is not a permanent chain. It only binds when we continue to nourish it with ignorance and affliction. Once the light of wisdom shines, we see that everything is impermanent, including karma. It can change. It can be transformed. Meditation is the path that helps us reach that wisdom, to see that we are not powerless victims of karma, but active agents shaping and transforming it. Thus, meditation and wisdom become the boat carrying us across the sea of delusion, freeing us from the karmic forces that bind us, gradually guiding us to the harbor of serenity and liberation. This is not just lofty doctrine, but a practical method. Anyone can begin from the breath, from quiet moments in daily life. Looking back over the journey of resolving karma, we see a clear truth. Karma is not a fixed shackle, but a process always transformable. By sincere repentance, by sowing wholesome seeds, by compassion, and especially by wisdom illuminating our path, each person can incrementally resolve burdens of the past to walk more lightly the path ahead. Resolving karma is not only transcending suffering, but opening a new life where we cherish every moment, love ourselves and all beings, and live responsibly in thought, word, and deed. That is how we both purify the past and create a bright future. If you find the reflections in this video helpful, please click like and subscribe to the Conscious Perspective channel to journey with us through more profound topics on life, Buddhism, and living wisdom. Sincere thanks for your time listening. May you and your family always enjoy peace, spiritual harmony, and may each day you find the light of wisdom in your life.